Okay, what's up, guys? My name is TMossBoss, and I wanted to let you guys know about Anchor. Anchor is an app that you can download to record your podcast in the easiest way ever. Like, it doesn't require a whole lot to know. Like, you just pretty much press record and you just start doing your podcast and stuff. I don't know what you plan on doing, but you plan on doing something. That's why you're here. So, yeah, download Anchor, or you could go to their website, anchor.fm, and yeah, you could do it straight from your computer too. So yeah, it's easy. They distribute everything to they distribute your podcast to every streaming services like out there, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere. Okay, and then you can monetize it, so you're making money off of what you love doing. All right, so people, make sure you do it. Make sure you download Anchor, or you go to their website, anchor.fm. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for listening. Peace. Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I went on this website. I might go on this website from time to time, just I guess if I don't have anything else to talk about, because my mind's a little bit scrambled. Can't really think of anything to discuss. So I went on this website. It's like a random topic generator, and it just generates random things for you and stuff. And that was mine. The first one that I got was, what will the future of education be? And honestly, if to ask me, if it's anything like how I was when I was in school, I feel like the future of education, it's not going to really have no future. I feel like there's definitely going to be something that succeeds schools, like, your day-to-day schools that kids got to go to and stuff. Also, on the other hand, with this pandemic going on, I feel like that might be around the corner, like the future of education and what kids are overall going to have to do. Most likely, a lot of kids are going to have to, do school from home. And there's no problem with that. But my thing is that with the classes that kids are overall, like, studying and learning and being a part of, I feel like it's classes that should relate to real world situations and stuff that a kid, when they become an adult, like stuff that they are going to have to really focus on. So like career paths, like I feel like that schools should have where like the classes are like jobs that kids, so like just in case, where I'm like, okay, like a kid, they know everything that they need to know once when they graduated from high school, and now they got to put themselves in like a real world situation and stuff. So they want to be a paramedic, they should have a class, they should have like a paramedic class. If they want to be a police officer, they should have a police officer class. If they want to what else? Be a manager or a supervisor, they should have like, classes where it like overall, and I feel like that should be like a pretty basic class, because you can literally be like a boss or a supervisor for any job out there. So that's what I'm like, and I feel like, yeah, that definitely, I'm like, teaching them things and then stuff where they can like remember and stuff. Because seriously, like, to anybody that's graduated from school and just whenever, like, do you remember anything from science? Do you remember anything from history? I mean, I guess like if those are classes that you are interested in, but that's the thing, I'm like, what possible way? Because anything that you really want to find out about history, the internet, you can literally look up anything on the internet. That's why I'm like, history classes, I feel like that history classes are like the one classes that should just be taken out of circulations in schools. Because I'm like, what are you honestly learning that? And it's like stuff that you can easily just find out online. Like, you want to find out facts about World War I or World War II, you could easily just search that stuff up, watch 100 million documentaries about World War I and II, or read 100 million books about World War I or II. So that's why I'm like, to have a class, I feel like that it should be up to the kid. If they want to like know about history and stuff, then okay. But if they're not, then that's why I'm like, what's the whole reason? Because I'm like, I truly don't remember nothing about from my history classes. I just remember that I can take naps. That's the only thing I really do remember from them classes, that I could take naps in the middle of them and stuff, when they turn the lights out, close the blinds, and start showing us some 2 hour video of what was that dude's name. He was like playing as a president. He played it was the one, I think it was Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber. Was that his name? No, Harry. It was Harry. So yeah, Jeff Daniels. They had Jeff Daniels playing in one of them like old war movies. I gotta like figure out the name of it. I think it was definitely a 90s movie. Where is it? Is it Gettysburg? Yeah, I think it was Gettysburg. I think that's what it was. Who was he supposed to? Wasn't he the president? I think he was. Martin Sheen, Robert. Where is it was somebody. Dang, they don't even have his like name. Well, I think it was this movie, but they had us watching it, and I'm like, I'm not going to sit here. Oh no, he wasn't. He was he was a college professor, so he played as Joshua Chamberlain. I thought it was like, I remember watching the movie. It had something to do with presidents or something like that. I think it was this movie because I do remember learning about Gettysburg. But yeah, I'm like, bro, it's movies like that where I'm like, I'm not going to remember anything from the movie. So that's why I'm like, you guys should definitely like ask the kids like, hey, are you going to be interested in this stuff if we put you in there? I feel like history like classes where you aren't going to have to use it out in the real world unless you do take up some history job or some science involved job. I honestly feel like classes like that should definitely be like classes where it's like you ask the kid, do you want to be a part of these classes? If not, it shouldn't matter if they pass the class or not, to me at least. But and I know like classes like photography, because you see like a lot of people that's all what kids do today. What kid do you know not taking pictures? Seriously, I'm like, every kid that has a phone most likely has taken pictures of some grass, of some trees. Every kid is a photographer. Every single kid in this world is a photographer. I will not believe that there is not one kid in this world, like if they got a smartphone, even if they got a flip phone, if they got a phone with a camera on it, they're a photographer. I'm like, every kid was thinking that. There are kids that actually take it seriously, and they do want to turn it into a career and stuff. One kid to use as an example, friend of mine's, and he is one of the members of the YouTube group Four Souls, Zach. Now he's a photographer, and he's a good photographer too. And I feel like somebody like him, classes like that, where it's like, okay, if this is what they want to do in things, that should be one of those classes where I'm all like, well, it could be one of those classes where like, do you want to take this class? They should just overall ask like, okay, what classes do you want to take? And then like stuff for them to learn about. Because I'm like, yeah, definitely. Like photography would be one. Something athletic, because there'd probably be kids that want to get involved in sports, so I definitely would take up an athletic class. Of course, like the basics. I feel like reading and writing. But I feel like stuff like that, you should learn that stuff early on, so when you do get into high school, you can focus on more like other, like, because I personally feel like that they are just a little bit too slow with the reading and writing. So I feel like the future of like school, like education in schools, they should definitely teach you everything that you need to know about reading, writing, math, all of that stuff, like in middle school and elementary and middle school, and make sure that you can remember all that stuff and know like the basics, like, okay, so if you add more zeros to this number. But I feel like that they do. I don't know why they kind of like more so teaching in high school and things. I mean, like, I guess to like really just keep our minds up to date. But then when you sit down and think about it, like any jobs out there, you're most likely going to use a calculator. So that's why I'm like, and then like with reading, I'm like, yeah, of course you gotta like read things. So I feel like stuff like that, it's like, they should I don't know, like it can be a part of classrooms, I guess, or like other classrooms, like where it's like work related classes and stuff. But then again, I'm like, I don't know. I guess it could be a class, but I'm like, I just personally feel like all that stuff you should learn like early on and stuff, like when you're in elementary and middle school, and like learn everything, not just like what's in your grade level. Like, no, you gotta like learn everything. So like maybe if I was a teacher, I'd probably be over teaching my students, but I feel like that's you know, if you are going to be in work related situations where you are going to be overworked. So what's the difference from being overworked and from being overschooled? There ain't no difference. Like, you know, it's just, you just gotta be mentally prepared. And I feel like that's one thing where a classroom that should be definitely put in schools is mental classes. Well, not okay. It sounds kind of silly when I say it, but like classes that just has you like mentally focused and just like, you know, but you're, and then like when you are put in situations where, you know, you're not going to end up being mentally drained or like, you know, just like mentally worn out to where it's like, you know, you don't have the motivation to be able to do things. I feel like that there should be classes that mentally prepare you, you know, for other like, you know, like stuff and things like, or, you know, for your future or whatever. So anyways, but I just feel like that there's just not enough classes in schools out there that just doesn't teach you about stuff that's going to happen afterwards, you know, after you like, you know, like there's, and then there should be like college like classes like beginner college stuff, so it like can, so if you do want to get into college, then, you know, you can overall do that and things. And I pretty much like, that's like overall like what colleges like are and stuff, like pretty much what I just discussed. But they should have like other like versions of it and things. And because yeah, there's honestly there's a lot of things I can overall discuss about schools and stuff. I feel like one being is that they shouldn't be putting all the like, unless there is something like truly wrong with the school, then okay, then fix it. But like there's the one school I didn't go there. I think I went there like once throughout my whole time being in high school, and it was to just do like some like extra testing because I either failed or I didn't like take a test or something like that. So they would send you to this like, pretty much it was like the biggest school in the city, and it was a Federal Way High School. And yeah, it's honestly, it is the biggest school. Like they have like the best sports teams, best like the overall like the whole school is like it's the better school. It's better than any other school. It honestly looks like a college school and stuff. It looks like it should be a college, but it's just a high school. But instead of like putting all that money into the school itself, why don't you, because my thing was is that I remember when I went to that school, because they did construction after I had graduated, but I remember when I went to that school looked fine. There's literally nothing wrong. There were a lot of fights that would go on at that school, but that school looked perfectly fine when I went there. So that's why I'm like, yo, why are you guys still doing construction after construction after construction? I'm like, maybe instead of putting this money into the school, maybe you should actually put it in the school, like the classes, the teachers, you know, better lunches and things. I feel like that's another thing that would get like a kid's mind all thrown off, is the school lunch. I'm telling you right now, the school lunch, they should at least have it where you can eat off campus. You should be able to eat off campus and stuff, and just have it where there's like, because I'm saying like they have it where those security guards be patrolling the school. Maybe have them patrolling the area, so if a kid does wander off, or if a kid, you know, if they are talking to some strangers they shouldn't be talking to, that's when you have them school campus security or the school police officers, whatever. But they should definitely have it where a kid. Because I'm saying, I'm like, yo, if freaking Zach Morris and AC Slater, Jesse, Kelly, and Screech and Lisa, if they can all go to that burger spot and go and eat, then definitely you should be able to go to some burger spots and eat. I'm saying, for those that don't know who I named off, it was a cast off of Saved by the Bell. But I'm saying, like, them guys, they were over at that burger spot every single day during lunch. I did not, did they even have, like, a lunchroom in that school? Like, I do not, I'm telling you right now, you show me the episode where they showed them kids having a lunchroom, and then I'll believe that, you know, lunchrooms should still exist. But seriously, I'm like, lunchrooms should not exist. They shouldn't. Because, like, I'm telling you, them kids, they are forced to eat them foods. I'm like, yeah, if you hungry and stuff, that's why I'm like, yo, you should definitely have it where kids can go off campus and eat foods, because saying at school lunch, I remember the only thing that was good at my school, it was like the cheesy bread. And then I remember, and then that's the only thing, I'm like, I don't like when they be changing the foods up and stuff. Like I remember they changed up the bread to in the deli area. I'm like, why? Like the bread was like all flat, like it just looked like, I'm like, bro, like I said, instead of putting this money, because now the school food's gonna really be bad. With maybe they put some money aside for the school food too. But I'm like, yo, you guys definitely should work on that, because I'm like, yo, that school food is nasty. It was like cheesy bread, and it was like the deli sandwiches all the way from when from like 6th grade to maybe my junior year in high school. Yeah, I think that's when they took it away because I think it was my freshman and sophomore year. Deli food, the deli sandwiches was good, but then they changed it up, and I was just like, well, that was a waste. I'm like, that was just a waste of whatever you guys are providing us now. And then also have it where it's like kids ain't got it. Well, then again, I'm like, I guess that can teach them a part of the real world. But I'm like, hold on for a second, I need some water. There we go. But anyways, I'm like, they should have it where like school lunch should be free. But then I started thinking about it. I'm like, ain't nothing in life free. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I don't know. They should, but it shouldn't. I guess like but if they can't afford it, because that's what I'm saying. There's like kids in this world that can't even afford school lunch, and there's like I remember there's kids that was out here asking like other people for like their foods and stuff, and I'm like, yo, that's like messed up. That's what I'm like. And then they be giving away them old nasty cold sandwiches and things. I'm like, look, a nasty cold sandwich ain't going to, get a kid mentally focused back on school and stuff. Like, no, a cold sandwich is going to make that kid upset, and he ain't even going to want to go to school no more. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, y'all gotta like change up the school free lunch, have it where it is like some cooked foods or something, where it's like some food where I'm like, okay, they good, like they can focus and things, but. Yeah, I'm like I just don't. I really don't, because I'm saying in a work environment they're not gonna have like food, because even when I worked at that cafe job downtown Seattle, I would eat the food there. Don't get me wrong, there would be at times when I would eat the food there, but they wasn't forcing me to eat the food. It was like almost every single day I will always go to the corner store and get me a protein shake. So that's what I'm saying, like stuff like that where you're like forcing a kid to stay inside of a school. I'm like, yeah, that it ain't really got nothing to do with education, but I'm just talking about overall the future of schools in general. Like they should definitely, when things get back to normal, they need to change up the laws on that, because I'm like, yo, them school food be nasty. They honestly sat down and looked at some, because I remember I ate me some pizza. You know how cheese is supposed to be like, it can like melt, or like, it's supposed to be like overall cheese, right? It ain't supposed to look like a cardboard box that's yellow that's sitting on top of some like pizza dough and some sauce. Like I'm telling you, you cannot. I remember I bit into a cheese pizza. The cheese was like all burnt, and I bit into it, and then the cheese like came off. It literally ripped off. It was like paper. I'm like, that thing was tough, man. That cheese was tough. But yeah, what else can I overall? They should overall just really focus on like schools, the teachers, definitely the students, because that's the whole reason for schools. And then yeah, like then whatever comes afterwards comes afterwards. But anyways, yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. If you're viewing this on YouTube, like, subscribe. If you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. And if you're purchasing tickets from SeatGeek, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss. Then would knock $20 off your first purchase. And if you're purchasing any gear from Facilo, make sure you guys use my coupon code TMossBoss. And then would knock 10% off your next purchase. And if you also check the ad that I uploaded onto my YouTube, both of my YouTube channels, Sneakers Insight and TMossBoss, you guys will see the ad that's there. And then there's a referral link that you can click on, and it'll take you straight to the website. So anyways, and that being said, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.